Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bomber Banter. It is FIONA'S forecast round 15 against the Fremantle Dockers. Oof. It's a good thing we have a very quick turnaround to this game because that game against Geelong is one to put in the very, very back of our minds. It, on reflection, was an awful night out in the end, and as bad as we're feeling, I'm sure the team are feeling even worse, and especially the young players and especially the debutants. What a shocking game to debut. And the Dockers are an interesting one, but it's time to introduce my partner in crime for this segment. And some of you who may not have realised, I have officially hit 1K subscribers. And that means that we are going to be seeing a maskless solution for the duration of Bomber Banter moving forward. He did try to sabotage the cause by texting me and saying that he was going to unsubscribe when I was at $9.99 to prolong the reaching of 1K. But even though I don't think he ended up doing that, we were going to get there with or without him and his one little subscribe. So everybody, please welcome the face behind the mask solution.
Yeah, my cunning plan failed. I'm not happy. I'm genuinely not happy. Firstly, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. It is absolutely amazing. And to have done it so quickly is remarkable. And at very least, my haters, of which there seems to be many, can stop whinging about the mask, and now they can focus on other things they've pointed out, like how long it takes for me to get to a point, how I talk slowly, how I have no idea about football, how I've got no idea, all of which are correct, by the way. I'm not disputing the facts of the matter. But yeah, at least it's one less thing they can complain about.
No, I think all those things are incorrect, but I am, for one, happy to be talking to your lovely face and not a mask.
Someone else on the call, I can't see.
No, but I don't know if I should feel offended that you made the agreement thinking that I wouldn't get there, or Bomber Banter wouldn't actually get there, and you'd have to reveal yourself.
Well, letting people behind the curtain a little bit. Obviously, I'm super excited about this channel. And initially, you might recall, you asked me to move our Bomber Banter podcast that we've been doing for a year and a half onto this platform. And you might recall I pushed back on even showing anything. I just wanted to have the blank screen.
Yes.
But you're very persuasive. You're very persuasive indeed. So anyway, I don't want to be too self-indulgent, but here I find myself. So, listeners, viewers, apologies for the head. You're stuck with it now.
I just think that when you come across a good thing, you shouldn't hide it away. So you're just too good to leave in the confines of the podcast realm. Got to bring you into the face-to-face realm, which is what this channel is all about. That is the ethos of this channel, connecting with people face-to-face, not quite in real life, but, virtually still. And if we can take a little bit of the, not antisocial, but the antisocial aspect of Twitter being just keyboarding at each other and bring it into more of a live face-to-face in the comfort of our own homes, but face-to-face, then I think it's doing the world good. So great to see your face.
Yeah, sure people disagree. Speaking of ugly, what do you think about the game last night?
Oh, that was, ugly, painful. And as much as we can logically say we know why it happened and we know what happened, it doesn't make you feel any better. Like, it's just like you telling me, if I just tell all the listeners, just think positive, think of the future, that actually doesn't make me feel any better.
You know what it was for me? What was, I was at home. What made me scream at the TV was not the loss, was not even the score. Like that was late coming. I expected that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was continually doing the same thing over and over, specifically kicking. And some of our best players, some of our best users of the ball, allegedly, were some of the main culprits, like Merritt and Martin, kicking out of defence to one player surrounded by 4 cats. And through the game, it did look like we were playing against 30 Geelong players. Like, their work rate and the way they set up and the way they team is just unbelievable. But that's the thing that had me screaming at my TV. It was just these turnovers. They just drive me crazy. And it was always going to be hard. It was always going to be a tough night. But that in particular was something that was just painful. It was like getting your nipples pierced or putting things in your eyes.
Yeah. I think a lot has to do with the opposition and how aggressively they force you to turn the ball over, and they don't give you a chance to win it back. They have support on every line at every point of the game, and they rely on each other and trust each other and just know that someone's going to be there. If they put pressure on to cause a turnover, they know that a teammate's going to be there to be the bearer of the turnover and use it, you know, and often going back inside their 50. So I do think a lot of it has to do with opposition, but it was really disappointing. And I did speak at length on Merritt in my post-replay review that came out last night about how I think he's just mentally fatigued. There are just a few moments where he's rolling his eyes, he's dropping his head, and his body language is really reflective. It's a mirror of internal mental fatigue. And I think when that's happening and when he's making the most uncharacteristic of errors, and not just the decision-making kicking to a player with 3 cats on him, I'm talking kicking to a player who's in space, a 20-metre kick and missing it by 5 metres and causing the player to then, draw an opponent. I'm talking about that kind of shit.
No, unless he has some kind of groin injury or there's something going on that we don't know about. That aside, I think you're right. It has to be mental fatigue. Probably the bye can't come quick enough.
And that's what I said in the post-replay review. The bye is probably a good chance for him to just... Because, psychologically speaking, you hold your shit together when you're in the thick of it. So when he's in the middle and he's the king shit and he has no choice, he's got to hold shit together. He can't afford to fall apart because all eyes are on him, watching him, grueling him. He's got all these young boys around him. But Chris Scott has plucked him out and put him in the back line and saying, let somebody else take a bit of the load. You just go back there and do what you can back there. And automatically you're peeling a few of the layers of the onion away, and what you're left with is the actual fatigue underneath that was there the whole time. But because you were in the middle and you were, center square, you had to keep it all together. But now that you're not in the center square, you kind of relax a little bit into that fatigue and that exhaustion, and it kind of just overtakes you. So I feel psychologically that's what's happening with him. And it's not, I don't mind like those kicks that probably aren't there, but the more dangerous and brave kicks through the middle, trying to go up the corridor and switch angles. Those ones I don't mind so much. Some of them are going to come off and some of them aren't. That's the payoff, playing that brave style of footy. But it's the ones that his easy bread and butter and Martin's easy bread and butter and Dursman's easy bread and butter that they were missing that you cannot carry. It's hard enough already this game, and then you've got a very good opponent. You can't be doing that.
How's our poor debutant in defence? Laverty, all those guys, they deserved some kind of Purple Heart or some kind of medal just for having to battle, not just their teammates, not just Geelong's rampant midfield, but our errors. So no injuries, amazingly.
I mean, of course, we did have an injury in the VFL to another tall player.
Yeah, I saw you. That was at the end, yeah?
Yeah, Gerard.
I was watching Bomber Banter. Really enjoyed it. You looked almost in tears.
I was. I felt almost like this could break me. This could break me finally.
Yeah. But that aside, looking and projecting towards the changes.
Yeah.
What do you think? We're going to Fremantle. Traditionally, we've rested some of the older players for that Perth trip.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think it's pretty clear that they're going to rest Goldstein and bring in Vigo, given that they held him back from the VFL. So I think that's a very clear, obvious directive, although I think Goldstein played really well and convincingly beat Stanley, to be quite honest.
Goldstein was like the link man,
Yeah.
receiving handballs and moving the ball forward, and yeah, he was tremendous.
Yeah, he was really good. A really impressive game for him. Gave him half a Twix for his efforts. But yeah, I think that's a pretty obvious one. Outside of that, I don't think there'll be any other changes, quite frankly. As I said last week in the forecast, I would have preferred McMahon to come in rather than Archer May, because I just thought he was a little bit more AFL battle ready from the very small sample size that we've seen, obviously, but also just having been exposed to more AFL in the past than Archer May had. I don't think they're going to bring in another debutant. I think we'll go in unchanged. I think they'll back in. Brad Scott doesn't like dropping new players after a week or so, so I think they'll go in unchanged. I don't think we're going to get any players from injury back. So, yeah, I think that could be the only change, which is scary.
Yeah. No.
What do you think?
Right. No, I agree. I mean,
yeah.
I like to look at the debutants anyway.
Yeah.
Tough game to debut in, but they deserve more time. Look, we all know what this season's about. No point bringing them in for 1 week and then dropping them. So
yeah,
let them play next week and let's reset after the bye. We're expecting players to come back. It'll be interesting to see what Scott does and how he sort of plays the rest of the year.
Do you agree? Like he said in his press conference, Brad, that, post-bye you can't just bring in 8 players straight back in. And I was kind of like, why? Like, of course you can. Like, if it's Ridley and Redman and Langford, of course you're bringing them back in. Like, and Reid, surely those players come straight back in, right?
Yeah, I reckon if they were all fit, I'd play them. If the question is they're fit medically, but maybe the prudent approach would be to give them an extra week or 2, or in Reid's case, 5 weeks to just ensure that they're fully healed, then do it. But yeah, if bring in your best players, Ridley's fit and can play, yes, no question.
I mean, they haven't played AFL football, so are you suggesting to give them a run in the VFL?
I don't know. Like, what's the most? Again, I'll use that word prudence. The most prudent approach for Reid, is it to give him a quarter in the VFL, then a half, then 3/4? If that's the case, then do it. I'd hate to think fatigue might contribute, but I'm talking like I know anything about rehabilitation. I think the point is this season is all about future seasons. So all decisions should be made with a view to the future. So I guess if we know Ridley's a star and we can be extra cautious with him, and it's going to enable us to look at other players, younger players, maybe players whose career is up in the air. It's going to give us a chance to look at them, then maybe that's what we do.
Yeah.
You don't look convinced.
But the only thing I'm thinking is that part of the looking to the future is getting these Ridleys and Reids and Langfords playing together with that young crop as well.
True, that's a good point.
And to start to get that chemistry.
You're a big one on chemistry and synergy, aren't you?
I'm huge on that. Huge, because I see the value of it. I see the value of it when it's there, and I see how glaringly obvious when it's missing, how it can interrupt, the total cohesion of structure and play. So I am really big on that, and I just think it also will help the decision making moving forward of potential trading out of players, who we need to target, like draft wise and all of that. So, yeah, I don't know. And like, eventually, like, I put this to you: if we just kind of scattered the more experienced boys back in one by one, and we just kept losing, is that going to be doing a lot of this team much good? The morale of this young group, like if these debutants go another 5 weeks without getting a win. Not that I'm saying, we just want to give them false, Band-Aid hits of dopamine, but is that gonna help their progression?
I think Scott will be preaching non-resultism.
Yeah, we know that,
he used
don't we?
the term last year, don't be a resultist, Fiona.
He did. Yeah. How have we not spoken about that?
Exactly. I think, look, let's be honest, it's on the tank year. We want those, the best draft picks we can get. And also, it's about process. It's not about results. So even, did he say something? I think I heard it on Bomber Banter, so secondhand. But he may have said, or somebody said something about Essendon watching the Cats, or the players watching the Cats and actually learning what to do.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't learn on the night, but yeah, I don't think it will do irreparable damage to young players by playing them in losses.
Yeah, yeah.
And given that, sorry, I was just going to add, given how shit the VFL system is, not the Essendon team, but where they play, how infrequently they play, just how crap the standards is these days, they probably learn more in a 100-point loss in the seniors than they would playing VFL.
Yeah, true. And yeah, as you say, it builds resilience as well as another aspect, another bow to that. And they get to see the standard that they need to live up to, basically in the flesh. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll go with that one change anyway. Vigo in, Goldstein out. We'll see. We haven't been very good in predicting these changes, but let's go with that.
No, and I got the Smoking Joe completely wrong. I said it would be Merritt last week. Who was your sitting Joe? It was probably right, given they were all potentially sitting.
Jesus. How are you remembering all your picks? I can't quite remember. I mean, I have an excuse. I'm doing a lot of content at the moment. I don't remember who I said, but clearly it probably would have been right. Unless, I don't think I said it was Setterfield, and he was clearly best on by an absolute friggin' mile. So,
No, I can't remember either.
All right, so Smoking Joe for me.
You've got Smoking Joe this week.
Lovely. All right, Freo. He's been taken to school the last couple of weeks, this guy, and I said in the replay review that I think this is good for him and his development is going beautifully. So I think this week he's going to get off the chain a little bit and he's going to learn from some of those mistakes. And Caddy is going to smoke, I think.
Yeah, I didn't think he was great. And no. I thought Dunstall made a rare good point when he said he's not getting to enough contests. Yep. Or maybe Gary Lyon, sorry. I think it was Gary Lyon saying he wasn't getting to his hands on contests, and he doesn't care if he marks them or not, but he needs to get to the contest. I think that's a fair shout.
For me, for Caddy, it's his second efforts that are non-existent. So if he misses out on a contest or feels like he can't get to a contest, there's no second effort to then follow up or to move on to the next play. It's just a bit of a mental brain lapse. His reflexes don't click into what's next quick enough. And that is something that just comes with experience and the more exposure to AFL football and the pace of it. But he definitely, you don't really ever fault his work rate because he's, gets up and down the ground. But sometimes I think he can just ball watch, go into a mental lapse situation. And I just think, as I said, he's had two opponents that have beat him convincingly 2 weeks in a row now. and maybe even 3 weeks, you could say, although I dare say against Brisbane he was good, very good. But I think, he'll take a lot from that, and hopefully the forward coaches get to him and talk him through some of the mistakes he's made and how to shake those when you got a really good opponent on you who can match you physically and athletically like Silvani did last week, how to actually, run with it and get some ascendancy. So hopefully that happens during the week. I know it's a short week and you can't do much, but hopefully that does happen.
I hope you're right. So I've got the sitting Joe. It might be unfair, but I might give it to Vigo.
Oh, he hasn't been pictured and you're giving him the sitting Joe. Wow.
Yep. First time ever.
That's got to be a
potential debutant gets sitting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a big ask. It's a very big ask to shoulder the ruck duties as the first ruck. It's very rare for a ruckman to come in and be first ruck from the start of the game. So,
and if they do bring him in against Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson, that's a big ask. That'd be pretty ballsy if the club actually do it.
Well, what's the alternative though?
I mean, Goldie up against Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson.
Yeah, I reckon we almost might be better, playing him for this game, and then, or maybe we bring Vigo in and Goldie, and at least give Vigo sort of half of the game time, just so he doesn't completely gas. Because even though he might be physically fit, it's a big ask.
Yeah,
playing an AFL game as a sole ruckman. Yeah. Also, who's going to play on Voss? This is my nightmare scenario, that Voss is going to kick 8, and then we are going to collectively lose our minds, and Bomber banter is going to be feral.
I mean,
you can see it coming.
That is, you've just taken out the crystal ball, have you not? That is just, I think as Bomber fans, we should just accept that that's going to happen, no?
Yeah. It's destined.
He's in very good form. He is like a big bull with presence. Talking about presence, he is oozing presence, that kid. And he always has. That's been his one thing that he's had.
And he's happy to throw his presence around as well.
Yeah. As we saw with his suspension. He doesn't shirk away, and he's always had quite beautiful hands, and he's pretty reliable set shot at goal.
Everything we kind of need.
I just think I've seen him do a lot of the little hard yard things at Freo a bit more than I saw. Not that he ever got a game at Essendon, but I just think we saw more of him. I'm seeing more of the little defensive sides of his game coming out at Freo, which they'd be wrapped with. But then you've also got Tracy, who's in great form, Jai Amos down there. They're not super huge, like huge Harry Mackay type huge and Jeremy Cameron type huge, but they're a handful and they're athletic.
Did you say
and
Jeremy McCameron then?
Jeremy Cameron, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Jeremy. I thought you said Mackay and McCameron. I thought you turned him into a Scot all of a sudden.
I mean, look, I'm feeling a bit worse for wear today, but I'm not going to say I didn't, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
But I'm not. Okay. But I don't care enough to actually go back and listen to if I did. So
I hear you.
Anyway,
I hear you.
You understand what I meant anyway.
I know exactly. I do know what you mean. Yes, I think they will.
They're not super duper. They're not super duper tall, but they are super duper talented and pretty creative. Below their knees as well, their forwards. And then, of course, they got Shy Bolt. Yeah, oh, God. We'll get into that in a sec. But, yeah, who you going? You're going for Vigo? Is that you're locking that in?
Yep, locking Vigo in. Very,
very harsh.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to him.
No, of course
honestly, not. And just like all the debutants that are playing, just like the recent debutants like Lual, all these guys, they're on a learning curve. Some will make it, some won't.
Yeah.
Some have played more AFL games than we ever will. and we'll be able to say that they played for Essendon.
Yep.
But won't be players. And others may be gems, but we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. So who is the Houdini then?
I really Archie Perkins, I am starting to think we're kind of picking on him a bit. And like, he wasn't great when he came on yesterday. He did come on midway third quarter. Is that right?
Yep.
So he had more opportunities than many subs to make an impact, and he didn't. So I don't want to pick on Archie, but I'm going to anyway. He's a Houdini.
That was a very short preamble to then oppose exactly what you said in the preamble.
Is it wrong?
No, it's not wrong. I mean, the only other one I'd probably say would be Archer Day Wicks. I don't think I'm quite, and this could be harsh, but I don't think I'm quite seeing the something like I am all the others that I'm seeing from him. But I think that's probably a little bit harsh as well. And Perkins is probably the more obvious pick, because I guess we just expect so much more of him.
Yeah. And to be fair to him, like when he came on and straight away started coughing the ball up, he was just falling in line with his teammates. He wasn't doing anything that we hadn't seen all night.
But I saw upcoming, I think he's about 9 games away from 100 games.
Can we trade him, and what would we get?
Not a lot. Not a lot at all. A third rounder, maybe, if that.
A third rounder and half a bag of chips?
Yeah, maybe. Probably not that. And that's not being disrespectful. I'm not disrespecting him. That's my way of saying that I just believe there's so much more in him, and I don't know what it's going to take to click. Like, are we past the point of saying with him, he's just not playing his preferred position? Are we past that point now?
Well, what is his preferred position?
Well, half forward.
Plenty of opportunities. He's had plenty of opportunities.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like, is it harsh? I don't know.
Whoever's saying that is capping, as the kids say.
Yeah, I'm getting too old. I don't know what that means. But I mean, if Langford is available, is he going into the VFL for Langford?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and I think that's the next stop, right? I think once you are subbed out of a game tactically, and then you start a sub, I think the next step is, if you haven't shown something in those 2 kind of weeks, I think the next stop on the bus route,
the exit lounge, sure,
is the VFL. But then you take the risk of having to bring in another new player into the fold, and it's
what
just
risk?
a night.
Like, what's he? I don't see the risk in bringing a new player in, given Archie's giving us nothing.
Yeah. I actually want to see Lual in the forward line. I just think his harassment and his pressure and his buzzy nature, I don't know, I just think I quite like him buzzing around the ball up forward.
Yeah, he surprised me.
Me too.
I thought he was better last week. He struggled like everybody yesterday. But yeah, he's got energy, that's for sure.
That's what I mean, the energy. Him and Kako have that same energy, obviously different players. But I don't know. I think I want to see him in the forward line. I think he could do really well down there, to be quite honest. I think there's a bit of something.
So moving to prediction.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you keep going.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't mind seeing him in that half forward role, and see if he can do some damage down there. Use his athleticism and speed to help us keep the ball inside 50 when we've got it down there. Because our inside 50 numbers and inside 50 tackle numbers are still so poor in comparison to our opponents. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so how much we lose by? Let's just cut to the chase.
Well, do you know what? The Freo Dockers are the one team probably just ahead of GWS for me. I don't know whether they're shit and I don't know whether they're good. I don't know if they're bottom 8. I don't know if they're top 8. I cannot get a read on them at all. I do know, yeah.
I was going to say, since Freo entered the competition, back when they had one of the best jumpers in the world, I still don't know why they changed the purple and the anchor to this jumper they have now. Like, it was much better in the old days. That's been the Freo experience since they entered the competition, honestly. Back when they had Pavlich and all these guys, when Dale Kickett was throwing punches, they've always been that sort of team. Really weird, actually.
I can't get a read on them, and I feel like every time I watch them, I'm seeing like bipolar disorder, like very good, very bad, very in between, nothing that you can take your hands on and have confidence in, knowing you're going to get that every week. I do know that they play a more composed, methodical style of football where they like to really compose the ball more than not, and get it from inside to out and then go methodically up the ground rather than play that really bash and crash link up transition style play, which is a polar opposite to what we saw last night. So they're not great on turnover, on capitalising on turnover. So that will be good for us, given that we turn it over so much. Geelong last night absolutely pounced on our turnover and turn them all into scores. So Freo is not going to be like that next week.
So is your argument then, if bad Fremantle turns up, this bipolar scenario, if crash out Fremantle turns up, we might have an opportunity?
Yeah, because they're not great in capitalising on turnover. That suits our chaos style of ball, because it gives us an extra half a step, an extra half a second to clean up the turnover and then do something with it. So they like it quite neat and composed. And I think if we make it scrappy and don't let them, playing into that, we're going to have to, deny them possession. So we're going to have to deny them the ability to be composed with the ball. So it's going to take work rate. But on the offense, if we can play that real chaotic style, switching up the angles and being brave with the ball, I think we could definitely turn them inside out. Their midfield, in my opinion, is underperforming. They have elite players in their midfield, Sarong and Brayshaw, and even Shy Bolton running through there as well. So I think they're underperforming. I think they're very one-dimensional. But again, poses another challenge for our midfield without Durham.
So what's your prediction? You're not going to.
So in saying all that, I think Fremantle by 18.
Yeah, okay. That would almost be a win after this week.
Definitely, yeah. I'm possibly being a bit generous, to be quite honest, but I'm banking on just not having much faith in Fremantle, and also our ability to respond after bad losses. So those two, minus the need for any more debutants, maybe Vigo, equals only 18-ish points.
Okay. Yeah, I have no faith. I think the floodgates have opened a little bit. So I think a 50-point loss, we might hang in there for a while. And I think your point about, Fremantle's, yo-yo like form is a fair one. But yeah, we'd have to fix these errors and turnovers pretty quick.
Yeah. Because, even if we get away with it against Fremantle, because they do give you that time and space to do it, what good is that going to do for our learning? Like, what good is it if we get away with it to a team who doesn't pounce on the turnover when the top 4 in the competition is what wins premierships and finals, that ability to pounce on turnover. So who cares if we get away with it and win or only lose by 18 points? Do you know what I mean? If we don't, we need to fix it. Is the point?
Yep. again, it's about the process and making, irrespective of result, making the improvements that we need to in areas of our game that are deficient.
Yeah, spot on. You're right.
All right. Shall we go to a couch question?
Yeah, let's finish on a couch.
So, how do people submit their couch questions?
So submit a couch question, just jump onto Fiona Rose T Twitter page and the link is pinned at the very top of the page. It's all anonymous, so if you need advice about absolutely anything, just pop your question in there. I won't say who it's from. It can be absolutely anything, footy or not.
All right. Well, this week's question is a beauty, actually. I'm jealous of this person, by the way.
Okay.
I've got 3 weeks off in September as I'm changing jobs. I want to go on holidays. Where would you recommend? I want sunshine. I've got 3 weeks off in September as I'm changing jobs. I want to go on holidays. Where would you recommend? I want sunshine.
Oh, I need so much more information. What's your budget? Is the main one.
Assume budget's not an issue.
Okay. I mean, I would go to Europe for sure.
Is 3 weeks long enough?
Yeah.
Takes a week to get over jet lag, in my experience.
I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, absolutely. 3 weeks. So I know people going over there like in the next month or so for 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. So where would you go?
Well, if it was me, I want to do Greece and Croatia. They're my two next Europe that I want to tick off, parts of Europe. I have no idea. I have no idea whether I do them together or separately, those places, but they're my two places that I want to go to Europe and do. I also want to go back to Italy, which I've already been, obviously, but and just do more of it because it's never enough seeing your homeland. But I would definitely do Europe if you want sunshine and you don't have a budget. If you do have a budget, I would, yeah. I mean, you could do Bali so cheaply these days. I mean, not as cheaply as you used to, but you can generally always get a really good, reasonable package on luxury escapes to Bali, to some very lush and luxe places, and you'll get sunshine and you'll get a bit of relaxation and you'll be spoiled and treated like a queen. So
get a sleeve tattoo while you're there.
Yeah, you might get a local disease or two. No, I'm just kidding. No, you'll get luxury for not that much money. Well, you used to be able to get it for half what it is now, but 'tis the way. And maybe even Thailand, but Thailand you've got to fly longer. If you want somewhere quick, short, easy, Bali. Fiji has just gotten too expensive. It is nice there. Not much to do like there is in Bali, but it's gotten expensive for what it is.
Yeah, and sometimes if you're trapped on one of these islands or one of these resorts, then you're paying through the nose for dinner and drinks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the good thing about you can do like Bali, there's so many levels. There's like extreme luxe, and then there's just luxe, and then okay luxe, and then just like really average. So even if you can't afford extreme luxury, you can still get pretty good luxe for reasonable amounts. And some of them are even like all-inclusive packages, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for example, like your Club Meds and things like that. So a lot of the places are doing things like that. But I mean, I would, if you could, I'd get over to Europe, even though I hate fucking flying. I hate it. I hate being on a plane. Like even just sitting here doing this for an hour, as you can see, I fidget a lot because my back and my bum is so sore because I spend my life on my feet, like 17-hour days on my feet sometimes. And my body just can't handle sitting down. So a 24-hour flight is like hell to my nervous system.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the one guy at 3 a.m. when everyone's sleeping that I'm twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah.
Watching my 7th movie and just Yeah. That's why it takes a week to get over it.
Yeah, and on top of all that, like I'm a shocking sleeper as well, so I can never sleep unless it's like perfect conditions. Got my melatonin, and so long haul flights are just a disaster for someone like me. But I would sacrifice it to get back to Europe for a European summer. So
is your family South Italy?
Calabria. So yeah.
Okay, I'll remember that. Be nice to you. I love Italy as well. The only alternative I'd throw out there, September. Japan's beautiful.
September? What's it like in Japan in September?
Yeah, it's the best time because it's a little bit like Europe. It's very you don't want to be, for example, in Rome in July. It's boiling hot. Early September's beautiful. It's not too hot. Summers are really mild.
But you don't get the cherry blossoms in September, do you?
Cherry blossoms are overrated, completely.
Really?
Overrated. Yeah, you just sit on concrete with cardboard on top, watching blossoms, which you can do. You can come down to Reservoir in spring and see that, no problems. Yeah, go in September.
September, okay, all right. But I'm assuming this person wants sunshine in order to sunbathe, swim, beach, and that's not really Japan's go, is it?
No, you don't go for beach. You don't go for beach. But summer's beautiful. Summer's absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How hot does it get in summer?
Oh, hot and humid. So it can be like Western Japan. It can be 33, but it's 90% humidity.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. Fair enough.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm jealous of that person. So I always wish I hadn't.
Making me very jealous, given that there will be no holidaying for me this year.
We'll take Bomber Banter on a world tour.
Take Bomber Banter on a world tour. Oh my God, the strength it's taken me to get a even close to remotely positive internet connection to do these streams. Oh my God, I could not imagine having to manage it in another country or in another location. I would love to, but honestly, it's taken all of my strength.
I reckon if I think of the countries I've travelled in and where Australian internet connection ranks, I reckon you'd be better off.
Really?
Like all the places we mentioned, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
And many others as well. But
okay. So maybe I should permanently take it elsewhere.
Yeah, possibly. But I just want to say in closing, congrats again on 1,000 subscribers. So anybody who's watching this, please get on, like, subscribe, share, and next milestone is 2,000.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I'll take a shirt off. When you've hit 500,000, I'll get arrested.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that. And I'm not sure that we're going to have many watch hours for those displays, but hey, we can only see your neck and up anyway right now, so
that's right, plenty of room to move.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, thank you so much for being a wonderful contributor and supporter and nurturer of mine throughout this process. I could not have done it without you. I said that from the beginning, even just listening to me whinge and to and from on the decision and how to do it and what to do. And you've been a real sounding board for me. So thank you for all your help. I appreciate you and everything that you have done for me. So none of you know this man like I do, but he is an absolute A++ human. So very lucky to have him contribute to Bomber Banter, and we will catch you next week. Actually, it's a week off.
Yes.
Now we pips up.
Yeah, correct. No, back at you, by the way. And yeah, well done. Go Bombers. And to everyone, enjoy the week off.
Yeah, we'll see you the following week.
Go Bombers.
Bye. All right, everyone. That is another Fiona's forecast in the books. Hang in there. I know I can't say anything to make you feel good after that Geelong game. You just got to surrender to the shit feeling. Let it be. See it. Acknowledge that you're letting it dictate your mood. That's just what is when you support passionately a team. I don't think we're going to get much more happiness next week, but we stick fat and we're on the ride, and we're on the bus, and we're going to go where it takes us. So take care, and I will see you all Wednesday night for the live team selection show. Take care, and I'll see you all then.